What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a throwback review that you guys have been going crazy for about the past year in the comments. It's pretty much every time I ask you guys, hey, if I did a throwback review, what should it be? This is one that comes up and I really have been wanting to talk about it. I just couldn't figure out how to put my thoughts into words until now. Every once in a while, you find a completely unique album that changes the way that you see certain things. A record that's well pinned, contains more than what meets the eye, and of course, certainly one that moves you deep down into your core. Brand New's The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me is one of those albums, and years later, I'm still here uncovering gems each time I decide to revisit this masterpiece. It's the emo record for a generation of people like myself, cold and callous to the world, embracing the dark thoughts rather than pushing them away. The prospect of life without friends and family, and maybe even without oneself, play out in a twisted splendor on Devil, opting to give the point of view of maybe like a passerby seeing things through a window. Think of it like a running commentary stemming straight from the minds of these four band members, predominantly Jesse Lacey, the lead singer. This is what happens whenever a mind gets probed. Truths are revealed, feelings collide, and it's all done in spectacular fashion. Devil gets off on being the lesser of two evils, knowing that it could at times intervene, but would rather let these situations play out just to see what happens. The balance between frustrated restraint, mental exhaustion, and explosive anger still blow me away to this day each time I listen to it, going unmatched by the majority of its emo and rock peers to this day. But why? As we move further and further into the digital age, we lose the humanity and raw emotion that went into the making of records like this. We take our feelings out in other ways and have numerous other things to take our minds off of the depression, the angst, and whatever else might build up inside of us, whether it be unrequited love, losing a loved one, terrible parents. We just block out the pain these days with what isn't real. Brand New are among the last wave of bands that saw quite a large amount of mainstream success, but actually put out genuine and emotionally charged music. I feel like so many bands these days are just going through the motions, trying to strike some sort of balance between raw angst and anger and what they've heard some of their favorite bands in the past do. I have to say that Jesse Lacey and company, they didn't write these songs because they thought the kids would relate to it, or it was something that they just thought would get them a #1 album or something like that. It's because it was what was genuinely pent up inside of them, eating them alive, something that they had to get out on paper or else it would have driven them to complete insanity. It's hard not to feel at least something as Lacey sighs, "I love you so much, but do me a favor, baby, don't reply. I can dish it out, but I can't take it," on the epic, legendary 7-minute monster Limousine. The tension grows to the point where it becomes almost unbearable before finally unraveling into a fury of guitars that still sends a chill down my spine every time I listen to it. They've embraced the odd aspects of their band, throwing in weird sounds and effects wherever they can, as Lacey noted in 2009 whenever they were doing promo for their record Daisy. The instrumental powerhouse Welcome to Bangkok kicks off in this fashion too, steadily building into this towering force that's hard to argue with. The struggle to find a good perspective of oneself rears its head on Millstone, seemingly using the millstone as a metaphor for the burdens and the thoughts that kind of weigh him down. He feels as if he's let down everyone from God to his friends to his parents, and that it's all on him. He has to accept all of the blame and place it on his own shoulders. The brooding bass work and the often unnoticed but exceptional backing vocals really play into this song's success, providing one of the most visceral experiences on the entire album. The band's most popular single to date remains, at least in terms of chart success, Jesus Christ, one of those songs that's definitely haunting, another tune from a tortured mind. It's not really a religious song, as the title would imply most likely, but more so about using the phrase Jesus Christ like an adjective. You know, if you like stub your toe on something and you yell out like, "Jesus Christ, that hurt," or something like that. I think it's more like that, as he says on this song, like, "Jesus Christ, that's a pretty sad," and it kind of goes on and on from there. It's one of those tracks that's not exactly the most in-your-face type songs, at least not on first listen maybe, but I think it's one of the most lyrically potent on Devil and God. It's one of those tracks that the more and more you listen to it, the deeper you dive into it, you see that this track might not exactly be the biggest powerhouse in terms of its sonic appeal, but with its lyrical content, it can hit you like a punch to the face. If you want another track that's definitely going to make you dive deep into the lyrics, check out the distant-leaning jam Handcuffs, which was actually written entirely, I believe, by this band's guitarist Vincent Accardi. The struggle for clarity and morality is quite apparent here, as this man is tormented by being chained to either a relationship or a certain feeling or a state of mind, and it's seeing him trying to lock up these thoughts, I guess, put them away. And this is one of those closers that just really sends things out in spectacular fashion. I feel like some bands will just throw on a slower styled song and not really have that much meaning behind it. It's just like they feel like they have to go out on that kind of note, but I think this is one of those ones that leaves a huge impression. The band shows the intensity of a raging fire on You Won't Know, still an all-time favorite of mine that breaks out some of the most memorable guitar licks of Brand New's career. Sowing Season, another of the band's most well-known tunes, shows off more of these aggressive tendencies as Lacey ponders on the fleeting notion of friendship, questioning whether he's even fit to be called a friend, setting sound waves ablaze with his signature howl of the simple but incredibly effective "yeah!" I can't deny that some of these songs are a bit odd and a little bit out there. Maybe not everyone's gonna grasp onto them, at least not right at first, but they are relatively straightforward in terms of the music surrounding them. That's not calling them simple, because they're actually anything but. The guitars are vicious, the bass pummels on a life of its own, and the drums kick with a vigor during the record's more high-spirited moments like Not the Sun. I think the final track that I'm gonna focus on is Luca, a piece that sees Lacey as confused as ever, seemingly looking for some sort of sign from God, seeing that he is indeed real. It could be a higher power, relationships, family, or maybe even something else. That's the great thing about this track. It's open to so many different interpretations. There's one thing that I can say about this track for sure though, that's that it's gonna kick your ass the first time that you ever hear it. If you've never heard it before, you don't even know what's coming. The devil and God are raging inside me, one over a boy that liked his lyrics very simple and straightforward, easy to understand, at least back in the day. I think the first time that I got into it was maybe around like 2008, 2009, when I was like a sophomore or else a junior in high school. Around that time, I didn't truly come to love and appreciate its depth until maybe like 2012, a couple of years after I was out of high school, but looking back at it now, one of my favorite albums of all time. If you've never heard it, do yourself a favor, check out the link down below, listen to Devil and God, and let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. If you have heard it and have a lot of memories with this album, let me know some of your favorite ones in the comment section down below. Of course, for me, personally, The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me by Brand New is a perfect 5. So like I said, if you've heard the album, new fans, old fans, let me know your thoughts on it down below. And while you're there, smash the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my last review that I did right here, or you can head over to my vlog channel just by clicking either of those floating annotations, or you can find the links in the description down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.